Did Javier just say what she thinks he said? Amelia was baffled by the prince's offer. You're offering to arrange a marriage between Charles and I? Did I hear that correctly?
That's what I said.
Javier spoke matter-of-factly. So, like, what? You're going to offer him a ton of money to marry me? Or threaten to murder his family unless he commits to me? Javier gave a nod.
Those are both persuasive measures.
Amelia sat with her mouth agape. You're serious? He turned to look at her.
Not so much about the death threats, but yes. Everyone has a price. If you want to marry him, we'll ask and I'll pay for it.
He raised his brow.
What will it be? Do you want to get your true love back?
Amelia studied his face and realized he was not kidding. She wasn't sure whether to be touched or horrified by this offer. His question did make her think. It replayed in her head. Do you want to get your true love back? She sat back and her thoughts drifted to when she saw Charles earlier this evening. She did want him back. No, I don't want him to marry me. Amelia thought about Charles and Sophie and their engagement announcement, and her expression darkened. I don't think I like him anymore.
Really?
Javier's tone carried skepticism. He leaned in closer to her, and his fingers suddenly cupped her chin, tilting her face up toward him. His penetrating gaze lingered on her delicate features, particularly her trembling lashes that fluttered like butterfly wings. He hesitated, as though captivated. And whatever he originally planned to say was replaced by something else entirely.
Is regret all there is? When you think back on our night together?
His voice was deep and unsettlingly intimate. What? Amelia stammered, utterly caught off guard.
Do you remember nothing good?
He softened his gaze, and his thumb brushed across her cheek. The simple gesture sent a jolt of heat through her. Exactly what was he asking? Their conversations were starting to make her head hurt. Amelia just gave a light shrug. It was one night over half a decade ago. Apart from the long-lasting consequences of it, I honestly don't remember much at all. He squinted lightly. Then he turned back to the window. In its reflection, she could see a soft smirk on his face. What was that all about? Time spent with this man was proving to be exhausting. After a drive that felt like a lifetime, the car eventually arrived at Javier's estate. A row of servants gathered outside to greet them. Amelia had dozed off against the seat and remained asleep. Victor stepped forward, intending to wake her, but Javier held out his hand to stop him. He then scooped her up effortlessly and carried her out of the car. Victor quickly stepped aside, afraid to cramp his boss's style for a second time tonight. Javier carried Amelia directly to Max's bedroom on the second floor, since he had seemed to be worrying about his mom all night. Inside, Max was still at his small desk, diligently working on his homework. Seeing his dad carrying his mom in, he lifted his head and blinked curiously. Hey, why is Big Star with you, Dad? Javier's brows twitched at the nickname.
Big Star?
Oh, it's what I call Mom because she's like the brightest star in the sky. Javier wondered what he'd have to do to earn such a glowing nickname. How could this kid be so shameless as to flaunt his mother in front of him when he didn't have one? Dad, why are you carrying Big Star? Javier held his finger to his lips, reminding Max that his mother was asleep. Max covered his mouth, then whispered, Dad, doesn't Mom smell nice? I know I'm big, but
I like when she carries me because she always smells like soap.
Max chirped as he climbed onto the bed, helping to pull the covers back for his mother. Gently, Javier laid Amelia down on the bed. Her slender arm slipped off his shoulder as he leaned away, and her light fragrance lingered in the air. Just as Max had said, she smelled enchanting, just like 6 years ago. He shook off the thought, straightened, and lightly tapped Max's head.
Go finish your homework.
Okay. Max obediently returned to his desk, then paused, chewing on the end of his pen. He turned back to Javier with his large, bright eyes.
Dad, can you marry my mom?
Javier stilled.
What made you ask that?
Max twisted his little fingers nervously.
Well, you're gonna say not to eavesdrop when adults talk, but I heard Mom tell Auntie Faith on the phone that the guy she likes is taking my Aunt Sophie on dates, and I don't want my mom to be sad.
This kid managed to get in on all the latest gossip, huh? Javier glanced at Amelia, who lay peacefully on the bed.
Me marrying her wouldn't fix that. If you want her to stop being sad, a guy she likes will have to marry her instead.
Max pouted.
But I like you better.
Max's bright and innocent eyes shimmered with earnestness, making it feel cruel to refuse him. But this wasn't something that Javier could make false promises about.
I won't marry her.
His reply was decisive, even a bit cold. Max's little head drooped.
Why not?
Adult stuff?
It's not for children to understand.
Without elaborating further, Javier cast a brief glance at the sleeping Amelia, opened the door, and walked out. After Javier left, the room stayed silent for a moment. Amelia then cautiously peeked open her eyes to confirm that Javier had left before she sat up.
Max, you're making me sound pathetic.
Do you know that? She poked Max's back, annoyed. Amelia heard Javier's voice in her head.
I won't marry her.
She wasn't sure why, but her heart simmered with irritation over the hypothetical rejection. Was she that awful? Whatever. I wouldn't marry that egomaniac either, not even if he asked. Max turned around with an innocent look.
I was just trying to help you beat Aunt Sophie.
How exactly were you planning to do that? Max hopped onto the bed, tucking his little legs beneath him.
Well, she stole the guy you like away from you, right?
Max's eyes then lit up.
But if you marry a prince, wouldn't that be way cooler? Even Daddy is too grouchy and serious all the time. Princes are more powerful than regular guys, and Aunt Sophie would be so jealous.
That she would be. Amelia shook her head at the little scheming machine she gave birth to.
We should try harder to make Dad marry you.
Amelia understood what was going through his innocent mind. He simply wanted a complete family like other kids had.
Sweetheart, I would never marry someone just to make someone else jealous. The only reason to marry someone is because you love them and want to share the rest of your life with them. And that's not the case for your father and me. Okay?
She gently patted his head, unable to bear seeing his disappointment, then grabbed her pajamas and headed to the bathroom.
I marry that smug, insufferable man? I hate to even think about it. Plus, it's a total improbability. Just look at history. Princes marry superstars, heiresses, and other princesses. I don't come close to any of those categories.
Just then, Javier's image resurfaced in her mind. The intimate proximity they shared in the limo. his steady heartbeat, his strong arms. Her heart started to race just thinking about it. No, stop, Amelia. You can't let those thoughts run wild. Prince or not, he doesn't deserve to be in your fantasies. She slapped her cheeks to sober up and pushed his image out of her mind. The next morning, Amelia entered the dining room with Max, who was dressed like a little gentleman, looking like a mini version of his father. The prince didn't bother to react at all to Amelia's arrival. The morning sunlight poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows, gilding Javier's every movement with a radiant glow. Though Javier was physically close, he seemed worlds apart. They were from entirely different universes. "Good morning, Dad," Max greeted politely. "Morning," Javier replied indifferently. Did this man have to be so cold first thing in the morning? Amelia minded her business and quietly ate her breakfast. After last night, she felt awkward facing him. Yet, while she felt flustered, he remained composed, as though nothing had happened. "Dad, what's that?" Max asked curiously. His big eyes blinked as he stared at Javier. Amelia looked over and almost choked on her orange juice when she saw what Max was pointing to. Right on Javier's neck, in a vivid shade of red, was the bite mark she left on him last night. Did I really bite him that hard? How drunk was I? Javier turned to Amelia with a devious glint in his eye. Oh, this, Max? You want to know what bit me? To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.